Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Geeks and One Noob, where we gather friends of similar interests and maybe not so similar and discuss, joke, learn more about, and generally have fun with geek culture. Today, we're discussing trending actors. So, like up-and-coming actors that are on their way in, and then there's actors that, like, were here for a while, went away, and then came back. So what do you guys think?
Actors that have also been around and just didn't have that big role, and then once they got it, they took over.
Exactly.
Yep. So like Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt has been here for a little while.
Yep. Everwood. Parks and Rec. And then I think it wasn't until
Guardians.
Guardians or not Zero Dark 30?
I wouldn't necessarily call that his big break, though. Like, honestly, I think
I would say Guardians. Yeah.
Guardians was like
was
his
his big
major film, like, big break.
Yeah, there you go.
Whereas, like, Parks and Rec was his TV. Like, he got well known through that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, not his debut, but yes, exactly.
Yeah. Definitely broke out through Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Well, it helps that like his character just took off so much in Parks and Rec, because originally like his character and April were originally not going to be there past like season 2, maybe season 3. They didn't have any long-term plans for either of those characters. And then when they had that one episode where the two of them are interacting with each other, they're like, oh, we've got something here with these two characters and their chemistry. Like, let's see what happens. And they were so popular that they were there the entire show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that and also the way that he and Swanson played off each other.
Mm-hmm. And even with Nope.
Like, he worked really well with a lot of characters, but I remember reading something that was saying like the big one that made them say, okay, we need to keep his character was his one-on-one interaction with April on the hunting episode.
Of course. Yep. I mean, them two together was phenomenal. Like, the two actors were just, they worked so well together that it just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, like, so we've got Chris Pratt, we've got people like,
the big one for me is Anya Armas.
Oh, yeah.
She's one that really stands out to me because I hadn't seen her in anything until Knives Out. Mm-hmm. And it really felt, for me at least, after Knives Out, she just took off. And now she's in so many movies, and they're such drastically different roles, too. Like, she's done a really good job of not getting typecast and being stuck in that same character.
Yep.
And so it's like we see her in the most recent James Bond. We see her in Knives Out. We see her in the upcoming Gray Man. We've seen her in Blonde that's coming up, where she's playing Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And so, like, it's been such a, like...
She was in Blade Runner as well.
Yeah, yeah, Blade Runner. I think that was, like, the big one that kind of got her start.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but I know that a lot of people, that's the one that they typically reference when she's brought up, at least the people I know anyway. And so, yeah, she's one that's really stood out to me because it kind of feels like how it was with Tom Hardy back in the day, where he showed up in Inception and just took Hollywood by storm.
Yeah.
As soon as he finished his role in Inception. And that's kind of how it feels with Anna, is where she like did Blade Runner and then she did Knives Out, and now she said, cool, Hollywood's mine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a good point with Tom Hardy, too, of like, as soon as he played in Inception and then as Bane in Batman The Dark Knight Rises, like, he blew up like crazy. Like, he was in so many movies. Like,
and almost always with the mask.
Yes, that's true. Although he was in another one. It was a spy versus spy kind of movie. I'm trying to think of the name of it now.
Yeah.
No, it
I
wasn't.
remember what movie you're talking about, but
it was with Reese Witherspoon and him and Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I do not remember this movie at all.
I never got to see
movie.
it, but I saw the trailers and I was like, this looks really fun and interesting, actually.
This Means War.
This Means War.
Okay.
There we go.
It's a really good movie.
It looked fun. Another one that he was in that was interesting, he played two English gangster twin brothers.
Oh, yes.
And they were like very different characters than a lot of what he had played up to that point. Like, the movie itself was okay and it didn't really do that well, but it was him kind of saying like, I'm not going to get stuck in the same character, I can do more things beyond that,
which is kind of funny because one of the first roles he played was Charles Bronson. Both as the gangster and the actor. So it's kind of that weird dichotomy between him, who's basically England's original bad boy.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of original bad boys for stars, RDJ kind of had that moment too, where he was in quite a few things. He was fairly well known and like, oh yeah, we need to cast this guy. And then he had his run-ins and got clean.
His problems and
He got clean, came back and said, no, I'm making more of myself.
Yeah.
Because like,
and not
Well,
only
he just like showed up and put the whole Marvel universe on his back, and like no one has questioned it.
Yeah.
He's one of those characters,
and no one's brought it back since he left it.
Yeah, and he's like one of those actors that is just like you'll never be able to replace him. Kind of like Hugh Jackman with Wolverine. Like even if they do like a reboot down the road and bring in a different actor for the character, everyone is always going to look at that character and think, how does this stack up to RDJ?
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, not only as an actor though, but like as a person, it seems like he kind of like turned completely around. Like,
like
supporting his actor buddies and like,
like
just anyone on set. It wasn't just the actors.
Everything that I've seen has just said how like genuinely good of a person he is. Like he's gone to bat for so many people in Hollywood that he's gotten close to. I know that I remember at like one point he fought to get more money for the rest of the Avengers crew and like. He's always doing things for the people on set, and just like he's just seems like a legitimately good person.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little bit like what we might be seeing from Johnny Depp. Like everything we heard through the court trials was, no, this is a stand-up person. Yes, he's got his flaws, but he's a stand-up person. He looks out for the people next to him. Mm-hmm. And I have a strong suspicion now that all that's done, we'll probably see him come back around and do more of the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's always made it a point to, like, if there was a kid in the hospital that wanted to meet Jack Sparrow, like, he dropped everything and got there and did it.
Yep.
At as soon as he could. And so it's like, he again, like you said, he may have his issues, but he's out there just doing the work and, like, trying to, like, show the appreciation for his fans. Because it's that recognition that's, like, I can't be where I am today if it wasn't for them.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to, like, some that just look down their nose. And it's interesting to see that, especially with either, like you guys said, with the like older actors that had like kind of stepped away and then are coming back into the spotlight, or even with some of the newer actors, like Chris Pratt has always been pretty gracious towards his fans as well and taking time to like talk to them and whatnot. So,
especially through his own troubles as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially during that time.
Yeah, during his trial of cancellation and failing at that.
It's actually not the time I was referring to, but that was actually around the same period.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. But even through both of those, it was more of a, look, I'm here for the fans. If the fans don't want me, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Fine. But if the fans still want me,
that's
up to
Cast
them.
me. Yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys think of, like, some of the newer ones, like Timothy Chalamet and from Dune? And also, he was in another one not too long ago as well.
I don't recall. Sorry.
Anytime
I hear his name, I confuse him almost immediately with Timothy Oliphant. It's like, that's definitely not the right person.
It's funny because as I was looking up Timothy Chalamet, as soon as I wrote in Timothy, it said Timothy Oliphant. So it's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, he's been in...
Back in the day, he also was one of those actors where he was in a few bit parts, and then he was in Agent 47. He was in one of the Die Hard movies. He got cast frequently for like a stint of like 5 years, and then just gone.
Huh. I'm trying to remember who that is, actually.
I thought Timothy Chalamet did a really good job in Dune. Like,
Yes,
I was really impressed with the work he did and just the character development in general. And I thought Dune was great too. So like that, just everything that they had really worked well. I'm excited to see him in the sequel too. That's the only thing I've personally seen him in. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to seeing what else he does in the sequel. Like this is going to be a massive franchise.
Yeah. And then it looks like you had a moment of clarity or recollection.
Yeah. So with Timothy Oliphant, it was just recognizing him from Mandalorian and and other things like that. But with Timothy Chalamet, I've heard some cool things about him, like possibly being Nightwing in a future,
Okay.
or a Robin or something like that in a future Batman movie.
He would be an awesome Nightwing.
I thought so too. Like he's got that kind of body build for it that I feel like could really do well.
Yeah. I think if he gets a little bit, if he's careful in keeping that physique and as he ages, I think he would be a shoo-in for the role.
I think he could bulk up just a tiny bit, just to like fill out a bit more.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think he has a good body build for that.
Yep.
Something else. Oh, he was in a movie called The King. That was the other one I was thinking of, where he was a prince, and then his father got killed in a war. It was like the old like medieval time kind of movie, and he became king, but like a really really young king, so nobody really
Very common.
trusted him. Yeah. So
Okay.
it was
I'm gonna
an
have to go check
okay
that one out.
movie. Yeah.
I'll have to go check that one out. It sounds interesting.
Yeah. He did really well in it. I wouldn't say it was a great movie, but yeah. He was also in Little Women.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep.
The new version of it, which wasn't that great, but
Yeah.
he did a really good job in it. Yeah.
And on a similar note, there was also oh shoot, blanked on his name. Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Thank you.
Yes. Tom Holland is one of my favorite actors right now.
Yep.
He's done a lot of really good things. He's done Spider-Man, Uncharted.
Yeah, he was a surprisingly good cast
Phenomenal
as Nathan
Uncharted.
Drake.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been in a couple other movies that
He's
Again,
been
not
acting
great,
for a
but-
while, actually. But, like, Spider-Man was really that one that he's just, like, put him on the map.
yeah. Yep.
And it helped that he had such good chemistry with people like Robert Downey Jr., who's, like, kind of, like, just took him under his wing. And it's like, he may
Very
have been
much Tony Stark,
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That was one interesting thing to see was how a lot of, and I don't know if this is something that's only just now happening in Hollywood or something that's been happening for a while, where if two actors, one more experienced or later on in their career, comes across a newer actor and it turns out they have good on-screen chemistry, you'll see them out and about, like, okay, when I was in your shoes, and it's kind of this
Grooming.
mentory type of relationship. It's like, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. It's a really good way to do it because they learn all the tips and tricks and like
But they also learn how, okay, you're being set apart from most other people now, whether you like it or not.
yeah.
And here's what you can do with that. And it's really awesome to see in some cases. In other cases, it's like, I don't know where they learned that.
Very true.
Thankfully,
Very true.
in most of the ones we brought up today, actually, I think all the ones we brought up today, that's not been the case. So, at least as far as I'm aware. But, yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting to see, like, just how different, like, the acting styles and everything are, too. Because it's like Chris Pratt is very much just wants to make you laugh and have a good time. Like, he has some roles where he's a little bit more serious. And then you think back to the bloopers of him on Post.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Yes.
Like just trying to like mess people up or
yeah.
like
It's like
just
he
like
has
ugh.
Like
for
he-
sure one blooper that they actually kept in Parks and Rec, and the writing staff was just angry because they're like, "Dang it, that was better than what we worked on."
Yep. It's fun to see his range too, because like you get stuff like that, or you get stuff where his portrayal of Peter Quill, it's like
Yes.
flip of the hat. It's full range for him, where it's this absolute goofball one moment, and then 10 seconds later, it's no, I have a reason to be doing what I'm doing. But we're actually about to see a series where he's basically full drive on that latter part of his acting style. Amazon series, Terminal List.
Yep.
Looks awesome.
It looks really good, yeah.
I will warn to our viewers, this will not be a family-friendly show.
Right, yeah.
And having read the book, I'm actually very concerned about how they portray one particular scene. But
It can't all be, roses and unicorns, but
agreed. Agreed.
but to be able to see some of those kinds of things with just phenomenal actors that can take on roles like that, like even when he was in Tomorrow War, from Amazon. That was really good. Like he wasn't much of a goofball at all in it. It was a very serious role for him, but you could still see him in it. Yeah. So it was really cool.
Then also, I can't remember her name, but she, the actress who was portraying his daughter older.
Yeah.
How would you phrase? Yeah. Anyway, if you've seen it, you get what we're saying. But
his daughter from the future.
Yes, there we go. His daughter from the future. Like first thing I remember seeing her in was Chuck.
Really?
Yeah, she plays. Who's the love interest in Chuck?
I haven't seen it. So
You haven't seen Chuck? I'm surprised. Okay.
Me neither. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Anyway.
I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was a kid.
Fair. She ended up playing the female lead in Chuck, and then she kind of stepped back, it seemed. But it seems like she's also starting to get cast in more and more. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Is it Yvonne Strahovski?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Like she's starting to show up in more now as well.
Yeah. IMDb is our friend.
Yes, it is.
Sponsor us. We use your website all the time. Anyway,
just about every episode. Actually.
You make us sound smarter than we are, which is a trick.
Yes. Because we dumb. Anyway.
Going back to the Tom Holland part of the topic.
Yeah.
Another one that has been kind of in that same role is Zendaya. Because I hadn't seen her in anything before she played MJ, and she just she's starting to show up in a lot more stuff. She's in Dune. She was in Greatest Showman, and she's like one of the best parts of the Spider-Man movies too. So she's another one that has just really taken over.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, she started out on Disney. There's a show called Shake It Up.
She was doing a lot of Disney shows.
Yeah,
when she was a kid.
Oh, Casey Undercover was another one. That's right. She was like a spy.
Yeah,
but anyway,
and I saw that she had done some other music video type stuff leading up to
right. Yeah, because she was a dancer, and that's kind of what gave her that role in Shake It Up. It was a dance show. So and she came up with Bella Thorne. Which we won't get into her because she's gone a little crazy, but still a good actress, just kind of an interesting person. But
what about Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yes, she's very good. She was one of the leading actors in The Northman, and she did a phenomenal job in that movie. And it's been interesting to see kind of like some of the other actors we've said, just how different each of the roles she plays.
Yeah, and with her, I think she's got another trait in her favor. I want to say the term is she's a bit of a chameleon actor, where sort of like Christian Bale is, where Christian Bale went from doing The Machinist one year, where he is this completely anorexic, thin machinist, hence the name, 1 year, and then a year later is bulked out Bruce Wayne. She's kind of similar, except now it's more in just the way she carries herself, somewhat humorously. She was in Split, and then she started filming Queen's Gambit for Netflix, where if you look at them side by side, you can see a few traits where it's like, oh yeah, that's the same person. But if you just look at their character side by side initially, your first thought is, oh, those are two completely different actors. It's like, no, it's the same person.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, because I would say she has another thing going in her favor is that she has this, off-the-wall beauty, too. Like, she's cute, and she's got a good look about her, but it's very unconventional.
She has some very haunting features, yeah.
So, she could be multiple different types of people.
Yeah.
She could... Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
And she's got such a unique voice, too. With the character that she played in The Northman, she had that, intimidating, deeper part to her voice, but then she also had the softer, higher voice in other scenes. And it was just, it was just such a contrast of the same voice coming from the same person throughout the movie with different scenes.
I did end up watching it the other day, and It was a very interesting movie. Like you said, it was very intense, very much like you had to like
enjoy it, but it's
watch
not a casual put on in the background while you're doing something movie.
But I did like her character, like very much kind of like you said, a very intense kind of
It's kind of up there with a Patriot or a Gladiator.
A little bit darker, but yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wouldn't necessarily put Patriot on the same level as that one, because I could put Patriot on in the background and
You are a rare breed, my friend.
I love that movie.
Oh no, I'm not saying otherwise.
We're
I
not
love
saying anything negative about the movie at
Yeah,
all.
I'm just saying it's intense. It is a thought-provoking film. But sorry, that's getting us off topic.
Yeah. But yeah, so speaking of Split though, like James McAvoy,
Yeah,
he's
you're right.
another one that could very much be put into one of those categories of like he was in some things as a younger person and then like all of a sudden just kind of dropped off the face of the world.
From Tumnus to Atomic Blonde to Professor X. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting transition.
And actually, speaking of McAvoy's Professor X, another one of our favorites. Sorry, I just blanked on his name.
Patrick Stewart?
No.
No? Okay.
Deadpool.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Very
he
much
was like
so.
one that's like he's been around for a while and he's done a lot of movies, but like it's been within the past like
6 years.
6 years or so that it's like he's
No, it would be 7 years.
yeah about 6-7 years where he's kind of taken over and he's like, I'm not just doing the rom-com stuff anymore. Like I'm gonna show a little bit more range. I'm still gonna be the goofy guy in whatever I play, but I'm gonna do a little bit more with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It was like the Deadpool movies.
I
I
do
think,
love
may
his
have kinda-
range.
Oh, for sure.
Like-
I've always enjoyed him as an actor, and he's always been entertaining. But I do feel like he got somewhat typecast, and it didn't help that like Green Lantern, when he was trying to branch out, just did not go over well.
Yeah, all I can think of is
and
a
I don't blame him at all
credit
for
scene
that.
from-
Like I thought he was really, I thought he did a great job in that movie.
He did.
Considering what he was given.
Yeah.
But huge props to his chiropractor because he's carried a lot of films that should not have made it.
When we just look at some of his recent stuff, like Deadpool and Free Guy, for example,
Yes.
and just how popular those movies were, and just him like doing as much work as he's done on the Deadpool movies, and like he still won't confirm or deny that he was the one that leaked the Deadpool footage. I think he was, but
I think he confirmed it in his own way.
yeah, I do like.
But
his,
even
his interview where he was like, I blood, sweat, and tears to get Deadpool into theaters, and they didn't want me to take the suit, and I was like, screw that, so I stole the suit.
I mean, he basically, to what Dan was saying, he basically confirmed that he was the one who leaked that footage in the same way that he confirmed the family plan for his mobile carrier.
yeah.
Another one he was in though that was actually surprisingly good was Red Notice.
Yes,
I really loved that movie.
that was one of
I
the
haven't
last things
seen
I
it,
saw on
actually.
Netflix.
I've heard it was good, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
him and
was-
The Rock, like really good duo. Like I think they could
And?
do one of those. Oh, and Gal Gadot.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what I was getting at though was I think they could do a very good buddy comedy,
Oh yeah.
like to no end. Like I think they would do it really well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was on that side of comedy, but it was more. It kind of felt like Uncharted, where it was like it had some comedy in it, but it was more of a drama mystery kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Also makes me think of his role in Hitman's Bodyguard, where it was like an action movie, but it had some really well done comedy aspects to it as well.
very good
Yup.
comic timing.
Very excellent, exceptional, and great ad placement for some of his other ventures too.
Oh yeah. Yep. I love how Ryan Reynolds does the whole like fourth wall breaking in almost every movie he does.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm playing this character right now, but I'm going to mention something to do with my other movies.
Yeah. To do with my
I
other
think that's
movies or
part
my
of
other companies. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
appeal of it is just everyone's just sitting there like, okay, what's something kooky he's going to do in this one?
Yeah. It's like watching the Stan Lee cameos in all the
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah, I know. But I would almost be okay with him being the next Stan Lee of cameos.
Yeah.
His character would make the most sense.
Yeah, where he would just show up as Deadpool in in any Marvel movie. I I think that'd be great.
It would be funny. Of course, I'm still waiting for that. I think, Caleb, you're the one who gave me this thought, this little mental image of him showing up in a PG-13 Marvel movie
I've talked about
and missing
that
that opportunity.
Yep.
I've talked about that one many times.
I think you've actually brought it up here on the show, too.
I have.
Yeah. It would just make too much sense.
It would make way too much sense.
Who are some other actors, though, that are kind of in that stage or have been in that stage? I'm trying to rack my brain about it.
Of the
I think
kind of
another
making a
actor that's
comeback,
kind of
or-
making a comeback would be Channing Tatum, because he had
Yeah.
disappeared for
yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
And he's
after 23
actually in
Jump
a
Street, he just
number
kind
of
Gone.
And he's in a number of movies right now, and he's
Yeah.
like kind of picking up steam again, which is awesome to see, because he's always an entertaining person. Like, there may be some roles I'm just like, okay, that was really dumb, but I don't think that was his fault per se.
No. It's funny because Channing Tatum is one of those ones where back in his early days, he had this way about him that was very much like, kind of had the dumb face on. You know, like he was a decent actor, but just kind of always had the same monotone face throughout all of his movies.
Yes, but he made it work for those roles.
Right.
So, like, with the Jump Street movies, it fit the character perfectly.
Yeah. So, like, seeing him kind of come a long way from there to what he is now, and he has a good range, honestly.
Well, he also did a lot of the like dancing movies, like Step
Yeah.
Up and stuff back in the day, and now it's like he's trying to do a little bit more with the characters he's playing. Like in Lost City, he was freaking.
He was hilarious.
He was hilarious in that movie.
And what I think is really funny about that is, if you look at the timeline between release and production schedules for Dog and Lost City, there was at least 3 months where he was filming both around the same time. It's like, oh my gosh, you went from this dead serious tearjerker of a movie to this I'm laughing so hard I'm trying not to wet myself movie.
Yeah.
And you were filming those around the same period. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And just that alone speaks to the quality of his range.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that even in Dog, he had that slight comic. Like, I think he brought some of it over.
Yeah.
Where there was some funny, just cute parts with the dog and stuff. And it was just like, okay.
And if anyone's been around that type of dog before, those were some of the most genuine moments of that movie.
Definitely.
It was like, you get exactly where that dog is coming from.
Yep. It's like, what are you doing? Give me my food.
But I have a job. No, you don't. You're retired.
Yeah. And, oh my goodness, I'm so disappointed that he's not going to get a chance to play Gambit.
That would have been awesome.
I mean, he would have been such a fun casting choice for it. I do think I agree with what David had said last time we talked about it. It's like, I don't know how well he would do that Cajun accent.
I honestly
But
don't
I
think
do think he
yeah.
would physically fit that character very well. And I think he'd act it well. But it's just the accent thing that I think might.
I don't think
because we've
he'd
seen
do...
his ability with accents before, and it turns into a meme.
My name's Jeff.
Hey, his accent, his southern accent in the Kingsman too was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yes.
Which, if he just tweaked that one a little bit and put that slight French twang to it,
True.
or twang, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I think he could have pulled it off fairly well. But even reading some of his comments in some of the interviews about it too were so disappointing, because he had such a passion for that character. He was like, I really wanted to play this. And I don't blame him, because it's an amazing character. I love Gambit.
Yeah.
Comics, cartoon, live action, even the Taylor Kitsch version of it in the Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't love his portrayal, but at least they got some of the stuff right with.
I also don't think he was given a whole lot to work with.
No.
on that one. He was in
He
the movie
wasn't
such
that,
a
and
small
also,
amount.
when talking about that movie, come on.
I mean, Ryan
Again,
Reynolds kind of has things calling that movie out for his.
And knowing me and my
The forever
eternal,
optimist.
movie optimist, I still enjoy that movie.
I will say that I do own it, and it is part of my collection, partly because I love the character of Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That's
Logan's
pretty much
such
the
a
only
great
reason I
character.
know that movie.
I don't love what they did with Deadpool, but
I do like that Ryan Reynolds did a shout out to that in the
Yes.
second Deadpool movie. He just starts trying to spin the swords around all the holes in him. He's like, oh, ow.
Yep.
yep. Good old Ryan Reynolds.
Yet again.
Another actor I think we've got to call out because before really the last like 8-9 years or so was Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was not known for great acting, and now he's in everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
And you can
going
kinda
from
see that
Scorpion
evo-
King.
Yeah. His breakout.
Talk about a rise.
Yeah.
It was like, and granted, like, gosh, that CGI was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know
It was terrible.
But like, it's just seeing like how his acting has developed over the years, and he's gone from like kind of like lower budget movies or like a small role in a bigger budget movie to now he's just like he's got so many movies. It's just like Jungle Movie. I'm in. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm still waiting for him to turn around at one point where he's making a meal for the rest of the characters in the show, and someone turns around, "What are you cooking?"
What's that smell?
What? Do you smell what I'm cooking? Anyway,
It's a call out to his
old
wrestling.
His old
I figured,
catchphrase.
but I didn't watch wrestling, so.
Right. But like he's one that's just taken over, and it's like the movie. All of the movies he's done have been really entertaining. They may not be like crazy movies that are going to go win awards, but they're all like fun movies that I enjoy just sitting down and watching. Like Rampage is so much fun. I love watching that one just to like big animals fighting each other. What's not to enjoy, really?
Yeah, Rampage, Jumanji.
Jumanji, yep. Oh, his
Again,
role in
Red Notice.
His role in Jumanji is great, and it helps that he has such a fun cast to work with.
Yeah.
It's just like him and Jack Black and Kevin Hart work really well together. And it's like he did the same thing with Kevin Hart and
Jillian as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, Karen Gillian was...
Karen Gillian.
Yep.
Well, but like
Phenomenal.
him and Kevin Hart's work together in Central Intelligence was freaking funny.
Oh, yeah. That one was really funny. Little raunchy here and there, but still.
It's a comedy with Kevin Hart.
Yep.
Yeah. Like Kevin Hart is great.
Technically, so are the Jumanji movies.
The second one, yes. The first one wasn't as bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one had some stuff in it that was.
And Jumanji was more intended for children
as well.
whereas
Yeah.
Central Intelligence was like, we know our audience.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of another actor who was so. Oh, Ben Barnes.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Barnes was a little bit like that a couple years ago. He's not like that right now.
He's in some commercials now, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, like we saw him first, I think, as Caspian.
Caspian, yep.
And then from that, we next saw him as I can't remember the character's name in Punisher. That was one of the next big ones he was in. Was Netflix's Punisher adaptation.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the main villain in season 2.
Oh, man.
Billy Russo.
Thank you.
I have got to watch that.
Seriously?
I still have not watched Punisher.
There's a Marvel show that David has seen and you
I
haven't.
know,
Right?
right?
Is hell freezing over right now? Like,
Need to get that AC technician out of there.
bring them back up to Texas.
Yes, please.
Oh man, yeah. No, I gotta watch that.
All right.
I've been meaning to.
I'll show you how to ensure that you can watch it on Disney Plus. There is a setting you have to change to do that.
Oh really?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
Yeah, Ben Barnes. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Like not terribly recently, but he was in Seventh Son.
Yep.
In 2014.
which would have been around the same time as Caspian, or shortly after.
Right. He was in Shadow and Bone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Netflix
The
series.
show, yeah. Which I thought he did a really good job in that one.
Yeah. Forgotten about it.
Another one that we'll need to talk about is Haley Steinfeld.
Yes. I actually really like her as an actress.
Yeah. I really like her portrayal of Gwen Stacy in the Into the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, that was a fun character. She was in Bumblebee. Oh, Pitch Perfect 3. Didn't
Yeah.
know that one. Okay. So yeah, like
She was in 2 and
For
3.
first number.
2 and 3. Okay. Yeah, you're
Because
right.
she was the legacy in the second one.
That's right. Okay.
And then she was the lead. Or the leader of the Bellas
Yeah.
in the third one.
She's another one that's like kind of shown up, and like it's been an interesting to see like kind of the different characters, whether it be like the Marvel stuff, doing the voice acting, which is impressive, and then showing up for Hawkeye, which I still haven't seen. But
Again, it's one of those Disney Plus shows where the beginning is really hard to get into, but towards the end, it's like, okay, all right, now I can get into it.
Yep.
I think
So-
my problem is that like if it takes more than 3 episodes, then chances are I'm not going to watch it because I don't have enough free time to justify more than 3 episodes to get into a show.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hook me by episode 3, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
So I'll start on episode 2 and just move from there. Because the first one really didn't.
The first
move
one
the
just
storyline.
introduces the one character, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was one of those ones that I really enjoyed towards the beginning of her career because she reminded me a lot of Emma Stone, where it's very much the quirky, like just kind of silly acting, and like you just love her attitude and her personality, and I mean she's pretty, so yeah, but.
Actually, another one sort of like that is I always screw up her last name. Amanda Seyfried.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. She was also another one like that where like I remember first seeing her in Mean Girls, and then it almost seemed like she was always a supporting actress. Mm-hmm. There were a handful of shows where she was the lead.
Yeah, she ended up, I think her first like real big lead role was either Letters to Juliet or the Red Riding Hood one.
I don't remember that one.
The Red Riding Hood, you never saw that one? Mm-hmm. I would have thought that would be one that you would have watched. Because it was very much on that thriller side of things, where it's like it was a live action telling of the Red Riding Hood, but it was
it's
more
more
like
back to the original Grimm's storyline.
Grimm, yeah, very much so. Yeah,
This sounds fun.
very dark, very supernatural. Yeah, really cool. But yeah, so she was in that. Letters to Juliet was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was more of a rom-com kind of thing. Not so much calm, but
There were some funny bits in there.
yeah.
Not many, but
Yeah. And then has she been in anything more recently?
I've not seen her in much.
I feel like she was in something slightly recently.
She's in a TV show called The Dropout that's going on this year, and she was in A Mouthful of Air last year, Bird Watching last year.
Yeah, I haven't heard much of those. Interesting.
Yeah, she hasn't. I haven't seen anything that she's been in since the Mamma Mia movie back in.
Oh,
2018.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yep.
Oh, she did play Daphne in the animated Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, okay.
That was in 2020.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one now. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
That one was actually kind of cute.
It was
It wasn't
fun.
amazing, but
It was fun.
One that I would like to see kind of fitting into this category, that she's a really good actress. She just hasn't had a lot of big roles, but she is starting to kind of like break out a little bit, is Gemma Ardern. And she played the princess in Prince of Persia. She was
right.
Gretel in the Hansel and Gretel movie,
Yeah.
the live action one that they did. And then she was Polly in the most recent The Kingsman.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's a really good actress, and one that I would like to see picking up more stuff. And like The Kingsman is one of the like bigger budget movies that she's done recently, and that one was just last year. And so I would love to see her kind of like springboard from that and keep going.
Yeah.
And she's one that I've always enjoyed in the movies that she's been in, but she's never had like that big role. Like I thought she was really good in Prince of Persia. Like that movie itself was kind of
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie, but it was definitely not one of those big title movies. And then the same thing with Hansel and Gretel. I thought she did a great job. Her and Jeremy Renner both, I thought, did a great job.
I like Jeremy Renner. He's
great.
Yeah, Renner was good. I think one role that he doesn't get much credit for that I think he should is Wind River.
okay. I wasn't sure if you were going to go that way or of Born Legacy.
Oh yeah. I think I was in that one. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty good. I like the Bourne movies overall, but it's not one I like to watch over and over again. I just watched Legacy for like the second or third time the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't bad.
Outside of the first Bourne movie, I would argue that's probably the second best.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep. And I have a lot of friends from my old critiquing days who would vehemently disagree with me on that. But it's like, whatever.
Yeah. I would say I kind of got to mention another movie for Jeremy Renner because he's kind of like he's not up and coming, but he's fairly popular right now. Tag.
Yep.
That
was a great movie.
Again,
That
not
movie
very
was
family friendly.
great.
No, it was not. But
But so funny. I love that movie.
That's one of those
That
movies
was
where I was
so much fun.
laughing constantly.
And I love the fact that it's a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that stuff practically happened. So
He was one of the more fun characters in that movie too.
Yeah.
So, oh, man.
very much that Sherlock Holmesy kind
Yeah.
of character. It was just like being able to read the character or the combat and stuff. It was so fun.
Oh, it was amazing. Oh man. Trying to think of some others though. Like there's one that comes to mind that had that moment as a child actor and almost had that moment a couple years ago in a comeback was Dakota Fanning.
Dakota or L?
Dakota,
Oh, okay,
the older sister.
gotcha.
So
Because L is doing
Yeah.
well too. So
yeah, they both are, and both of them phenomenal actresses.
yeah.
But Dakota Fanning, I'm sure all of us remember her being like the child star. If it was a emotional movie or involved a child actress, she was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it didn't matter if it was a kid film, a family film, or freaking Man on Fire.
Right. Yep.
Dakota Fanning was in it. And then she kind of just stopped for years. And then she was in a TNT series. It was kind of a detective drama, The Alienist.
Okay.
For a while. She was in that, and there were rumors.
Twilight.
We'll move on.
You said coming up and being popular.
This was
not
a
in
while
garbage.
ago, dude. This was like 10 years ago, so
I
it's
will
still
forever-
coming.
I will forever hate that series. Doesn't matter what you say.
I just got the dirtiest looks right now.
Well deserved looks.
Y'all can
Yeah.
like what you like. I like what I like.
Are there limits to that?
Anyway, so Dakota Fanning was doing well in.
She was doing well in the TNT series, and then there were a lot of rumors of her being cast in a lot more, and then she just kind of petered out again. It's like, what gives?
Interesting.
Phenomenal
And it
actress.
could be one of those that's like just intentionally taking a break.
It could be.
Because like we kind of saw that with other actors like
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment, and then Robert Pattinson kind of like comes and goes whenever he's interested in something, and like
little bit
took
like
a
Bruce Wayne.
break.
Even
after-
Tom Holland said he was taking a break from acting
Yeah.
for a little while.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a smart
true.
thing to do because the amount of time and effort that they're putting in, like I can
Not
only
like they
imagine.
need the money either.
Right, but it's just like.
Yeah.
Especially with like roles like Spider-Man and just the shape
Yeah.
that Tom Holland has to stay in. Like, I could only imagine that you can only do that for so long before you're like, I just want to go and eat a bunch of cookies and not do anything for a little while.
I feel you, dude. I feel you.
Right. Or I guess in Tom Holland's case, Puncher Biscuits.
Right.
Gonna go have some tea and crumpets.
That was more that was more Austin Powers than Tom Holland.
I wasn't trying to be Tom Holland. I was just being British. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway. But Elle Fanning, too.
Elle Fanning as well,
Elle
yes.
Fanning is doing fairly well. She's been in some TV shows. She's been in some movies.
Funnily enough, first thing I remember her name from was Nothing with Her Face.
What was that?
She was in the redub of My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh, okay.
So actually, her and Dakota both. They played the sisters, voiced the sisters in that in the redubbing of My Neighbor Totoro.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. First thing I remember hearing, I guess, Elle
Yeah.
Fanning in. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, one of the first things that comes to mind when I think of, or when I hear Elle Fanning was We Bought a Zoo. Mm-hmm. One of Matt Damon, I think, was really like going for that movie. But anyway, you guys suck.
Yeah, we're both doing the Team America World Police over there.
You just can't hear the name and not do it.
Right.
Yep. If I knew it better, I probably would do it too.
You probably don't need to. And if anyone listening is unfamiliar, lucky you.
Oh, the Maleficent movies too. She was in.
Who was she in that?
She was
Was she Aurora?
Sleeping Beauty. Yep.
Really?
Both of those movies, she played Aurora.
Interesting.
I forgot about that. It's been a while since I've seen the first one.
Good movies. I like them.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It was entertaining. It wasn't my typical fare, but
Right.
yeah,
I think Angelina Jolie did a really good job
She
with
did
it.
a very good job with it.
She was the perfect
yeah.
cast for that, I think.
It's been kind of fun to see Angelina Jolie's change up in the type of character she's playing.
Yeah.
And now we're finally seeing her in the Marvel universe, which has been something that a lot of people have wanted for a while. Mm-hmm. She was in Eternals.
Athena.
Oh,
Or Athena.
She was one of the more entertaining characters in
Yeah.
that one.
She did a really good job.
so I mean, with that small list of actors and actresses that we've noticed who've kind of had their comings and goings, who are coming up in the world a little bit and getting more of the spotlight, be kind of intrigued to see other actors as they come into vogue and how they're and the types of roles they start taking and how their progression as their talent progression starts evolving.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch that come up. But I mean, we could sit here for a long time talking about actors we've noticed throughout our
Tenure as movie goers. Yeah.
Yeah. As people who've enjoyed going to cinema. Watch all that come up. Watch them come up as actors and sometimes even as people. But at the same time, I think this is kind of an ongoing topic.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, if anything, we've seen how things can change, where it's like Tom Hardy was in everything for a while, and then he kind of took a break, and he's like having a lot of fun with the Venom movies and doing a great job with those, but he's not in nearly as much as he was. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see either maybe this year, a few years down the road, or whenever, like we see someone else just kind of like show up and just take the spotlight and see how that develops.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another one I was thinking of actually that I think could very well do that, and she kind of is in some ways. Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. Like she was, she's doing really well in that one, and then she was in a movie called Enola Holmes,
Which was actually really fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch,
It's
and
very
she,
much not canon, but
She
very,
was
very
also
fun.
in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yes, yeah,
Yep.
that's true, and she did a really good job. I think she's coming into her own and
Oh, yeah.
doing very well in Hollywood.
Yep. So I mean, some actors or actresses will see them pop up as just some bit part where it's the zombie infected neighbor, and then turn into someone we just don't really want to talk about. And then others, you see them in these bit roles, and it's like, huh, that was
to see
interesting.
more of them.
Yeah, we want to see more of them. And then sure enough, we do, and it's awesome to see that happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope there's more talent in that latter category as we move forward.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems like we're kind of getting back into that golden age of film where it's, or towards that, not into it, but back towards that mentality where it's more like, let's get back to just escapism.
Yeah.
Let's get back to just telling a good story and leaving it at that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need it after the pandemic and all the
Everything that's been going on the past couple of years. It's
movies have been very, very scarce, and unless they're horror films or very B-list movies.
and I will say for the horror films that have come out, only a few are good.
Right. So like to see some really good movies coming out, some really good actors and actresses coming out, and like I said, coming into their own or coming back into their own.
Or just deciding to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And stop taking it so seriously, like with Brad Pitt in the upcoming movie Bullet Train.
Right.
It's like it's pretty different for him, and I'm really excited for that. And so I think you're right that we're starting to see a little bit of a shift in the wind, so to speak, with a lot of this stuff, and just seeing some actors really just coming in and like, it's my time to shine, and then other actors who have been here for a while is just like, screw this, I just want to have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that'll about do it for this episode. Thanks again for hanging out with us and listening to us rant and rave about so many different things. If you want to leave any comments down below in our comment section about any actors or actresses that we forgot, please let us know, and we'll try to mention that later on. And we'll probably do another episode like this coming up soon. But yeah, we will say goodbye for today.
Thanks, y'all.